Okay, so second video of the day. It is still July 21st, 2025 at 6:09 a.m. in the morning. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Foundation's channel. You can see it right there. And of course, right at the top of the search engine, when you search New Nations Unity, where am I? There it is. You go, right? And, oh my lord, I gotta change this mouse. Why is it not moving? There we go. What comes up? Always first. Always YouTube comes up first. I haven't been posting on BitChute because, honestly, people, I'm worn out. And, you know, it's just twice too much work and blah and blah and blah. But whatever, we can always update as we go along at some point in the future. So BitChute is just kind of there, right? That's the backup channel to YouTube, to which at some point can always, I have to backtrack in there and correct numbers in terms of the number assigned to the video because of whatever, and I don't have the stamina for it. So in the meantime, oh my god, that little boy is waking up. I hear him. So when I watch videos like this, okay, broke, desperate, and online. Why TikTok is the new welfare line in America. All right. Well, because we're dealing with manufactured poverty, where people get locked into certain situations that they can't get out of, but they still have basic human needs. Right? And of course, the United States of America doesn't have a strong safety net system where all people have a chance and the opportunity to prosper and live in peace with liberty. Yeah, okay. All right. So anyway, I kind of want to, I just started watching it, you can see. Okay. So we're coming in fresh. But as I'm doing what I'm doing on my channel, you know, I don't want to forget the charitable aspect of why I even have it. And this would be one of those reasons or causes. I'd say cause, in terms of the foundation was meant to help people through different aspects within those sections, within the subsections of what I wrote 26 years ago in terms of a foundation's mandate. So we're going to click this on now. I turned down the volume so it wouldn't, I don't know what we're going to get. Okay, so there's the website. And of course, everything's glaring back at me, so, you know, whatever. It doesn't look the way it used to look, that's for sure. It's frying out my eyes just as I'm looking at it. There's the Constitution. All right. And then when I see that video that we're going to go back to in a minute, it makes me think of, now it's been a while since I've been here, so Lawyer and Family Fund. This is what I'm thinking. As if I got time to be working on web pages, to which I don't, but if I was to think about what I'm doing and, you know, how do I keep other people in the loop how do I keep other people in the loop? Right? With their stories. Something's missing. There should be pictures in there, but there's not. And then we go into the... So this was when Audrey was taken, and I was building on program development. You know, this person on TikTok, I'm just using this as an example. Her story with her children, under the right circumstances, could be placed here because that's the way it was set up to be. Right? And so on and so on. But you would need some serious marketing around this, and I just don't attract those kind of people. But when I look at videos like this, and being a community activist, you know, automatically I want to help. But sending $10 isn't going to cut it, because you're dealing with a wider circumference of legislation that has brought this family below the poverty line to where they can't even be housed in a safe environment because the community itself, whether it's the government, federal, state, or district, county. In the States, they call it a county, right? They've failed this family to where the mother has to feel like she has to ask for help on TikTok, to which would be, again, I suppose, another form of working on commission where there is no fixed, dependable income. Right? And even if she was getting donations and then put her applications in with state services, social services, right? They'd be like, well, no, you don't qualify because you're working on commission and your income is undependable, and therefore we can't help you. Because I know from experience that's what can happen under certain parties with their legislation as they change the rules from time to time within the legislation itself to keep people basically in poverty. We are molded into poverty. And then, you know, once you start losing motivation and incentives and all this other crap in terms of your personal being, you get trapped. Okay, so let's just listen to this for a minute. Okay, because, you know, I brought up this video, which I was going to take this link and put it into the link that I'm uploading next, which is converting right there. You can see old school, right? Which I still might do. Plus, I'll put this link to this video into this video, because now I'm thinking about this vulnerable family being left behind as the mother is being more than likely demoralized, you know, having to face character assassination because she can't provide for her children, you know, blah, blah, you know how it goes, right? And I'm like, well, what can I do? in the great grand scheme of things, if I could do it. Well, the only thing I can work with is with what I have, which is the foundation, to which is hanging on a thread, has been for a very long time. But besides that point, let's just listen to her story for a second, because there's a whole lot of stories in this 20 minutes, and she's the first one. And I don't want to be homeless with my kids, and that is, I don't want to say standard in the United States, but it's more common than it's not. A lot of homeless families in the United States of America, and not all of them get into these shelters. And these shelters, they have rules, and they're only allowed there for 30 days, and then they got to go someplace else. As a matter of fact, I think it's even like that out here, because when Rio was in the shelter, she was being moved from shelter to shelter, I think because time was running out, and some of them are unsavory, because, they're, like there's shelters where, you have the more of the hardcore street people that are like addicted to drugs and alcohol and mental health issues, and that might be the shelter where you'll be at with the kids, because, of the location of the demographics of where it's located, right? And then you get moved to a different shelter, and even then, you only allowed for 30 days, whatever, and, and the services that they offer you, sure, they offer you information on how to look for housing and where you can maybe make an application for subsidy, but there's no guarantees, and chances of these people getting subsidized or approved for this or, whatever, is slim. And so this is this I believe what I'm seeing here, because I've been on the internet a long time. And anyway, let's just listen. Okay, I had to turn down the volume just because. No, just turn it up a bit.
Me making a video asking for y'all's help. I need to reach 10K followers. I have 13 days left here until we become homeless, I guess. I still haven't found a place to go. We can't stay in my car because my AC is out. I'm currently trying to fix my AC, because if anything, yeah, we're gonna need the AC. But if y'all could just like, comment, and just engage on my videos. If this video...
You see, this is where I would say, videos will become, if I get too deep into it, ad unfriendly, because I'm not saying that the government is responsible to look after this family for the rest of their lives, because it's the right thing to do, being that they're human beings and they're vulnerable. This is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is there should be safety nets where the family is housed in safe environments with adequate food security, with a sense of normality where the family as a whole can develop and grow into becoming productive members into society, so that they can stand on their own 2 feet, hopefully, without being knocked down to their knees time after time after time through poverty legislation. Because poverty, at the end of the day, is manufactured, in my opinion. Okay? So therefore, because the government isn't even providing an opportunity for this family to grow and to prosper, the government becomes negligent and subjects this family to human trafficking traps. Okay? Because anything bad could happen to this family the closer they get to the streets, and then are faced with living in shelter systems and just going through that whole process with no prospect of coming out ahead and whole, uninjured and unharmed.
Landed on your For You page. Please just follow and just get us to 10K. Bye. Bye.
Okay, if 2,540 of you guys sent just $1, I'll be able to move. I have until the 20th.
I'll tell you the worst place to be homeless. Anywhere in the motherfucking South. I've never been up north at all, so I can't vouch for that.
Okay, I suppose this is under the Fair Use Act because it's not like I'm... Right? We're talking about a serious issue here where millions... I'm not even going to put it at thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. I'm going to put it at millions. Where millions of people are facing great harm and injury that creates lifelong permanent disabilities, if not death, through the process of disenfranchising families en masse for a political goal, whatever that political goal is, and from wherever it comes from. It doesn't matter if it's under the New World Order and they're trying to depopulate the planet and bring us down to 500 million, or whether it's just with the old adage of slavery has always been around and there's always an upper class and there's always a lower class and it is what it is, nothing new under the sun, or whatever it is, okay? Manufactured poverty is manufactured poverty. And there's reasons behind it. Okay.
But in the South, you're not even a human, dude. Like in West Virginia, people give you a little bit of grace because everybody's got a family member that's strung out or knows somebody close to them. But in the South, in general, I mean, I would come in there dirty as hell, been outside for 3 days, haven't eaten, haven't slept, been drinking fucking water from a water fountain or like a creek, and I'll be like, can I please charge my phone? And they'd be like, get the fuck out of here, and like click a shotgun, like a movie, like a cartoon. They actually did that
under the Fair Use Act,
like, wow,
right?
okay, if they even sense that you're unhoused, everybody's immediately looking at you. Everybody in the store, everybody. And I'm like, my story was genuine. I was like, I got out of jail and I don't know anybody down here and I can't stay where I was staying. Someone help me. And they were like, get the fuck out.
Update day 2, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was up all night, really, like, it's these plastic beach chairs, like, and the room is filled. That was my first night in there, because yesterday night they didn't let me in because I came too late. So last night I was just literally, last night I was just literally in the street, but the last night, I was inside because I did.
Okay, so I'm going to just put this in the description box. I don't know where I'm going with this. All I know is that there is a charitable aspect to the foundation that I can't lose sight of. Okay, right? Now, how I could incorporate such stories that we were just looking at into a page like this, with or without help, because you know I'd need help. Okay. I don't know. Because if we could bring in national telethons to help with this situation, under that section within a subsection of a subsection, like as if they were ledgers where you disperse the money out like YouTube does, the way I wrote it under my constitution, within those sections where money should be dispersed out between the donations coming into the foundation, oh, then, you know, God, I'd be in my glory. But it's so complicated. Like, it's like you need a, you know, you need a, I need a webmaster that first of all can build up the web page. That's the first thing, right? Oh yeah. You know, as if though people, they want money and I don't have money. I can't give them money. I don't know what to do. So I don't know what to do. I know what I like. This you should be able to click on. These are flag. You should be able. Oh my God, these are stupid mouse. I gotta change this mouse. You should be able to click this on, and it takes you to the state of Tennessee. And under that page, you should be able to access a whole bunch of resources within that state to help with the issues that we're talking about right now. Right? Whether the foundation is connected somehow to an organization out there that makes them legitimate to, you know, receive money if we were to do a national telethon. But that's just like, that's good. That's the government they don't like that. That shows too much community empowerment. Yeah, they don't like that. I'm living. This is where I'm in.
I'm gonna watch, do a little hand action here. Okay?
This is where I'm in.
That's right.
Oops.
That's right.
This is where I'm in denial.
You watch your.
Yeah.
Watch your grids in there, right? Okay? You're getting a little high up, so use this one and use this one. Okay, now take this one off, stop, let's get going.
You know what? I'm going to end it on this. I know Andre wants to do something. He knows I used to do things in the past, but he's not really in touch with it because he hasn't experienced it since he's been teeny weeny. Watching that. But again, that means I have to dig out crap, and I just don't have the energy. And if I start digging out DJ equipment and all this stuff just to maybe go back to where I was there, see who's working out there, see if the same businesses are out there after all these years, seriously, and say, hey, you know, I'd like to do a little gig with the kids, like the old days, like the good old days, right? Andre's the main MC, right? You know what I'm saying? Friends and everything. And outside of the business, if these guys are still working there in terms of their businesses, oh, Andre would be like, he'd be in his glory, because he's already asked me to do something. Because he, you know, every now and then he sees me watching these videos, and, what were you doing now? And I'm like, why don't you do it no more? And, you know, and blah, and blah, and blah. And I'm like, oh, it's not that simple, you know? And like my son is like throwing my shit out, like he's throwing out my canopies, and, you know, I put my canopies in the shed. They can't stay there. They're just, right, for any length of time. And right now, it's summertime, it's okay, but they can't stay in there over the winter. And, you know, it's like, you know, because he doesn't care when it comes to nonprofits and stuff like that. But I still care, people. I do, you know, and I mean, sure, if I go off and I do a little gig outside of the businesses that's in this video, I know what will happen. YouTube will come in with all their copyright this and copyright that, and Maybe the video will stay up, maybe the video won't. I don't know. All I know is it's a big headache and it takes the fun out of it. But all I know is I can do it, and I know Andre wants to do it, and if he wants to do it, you know his little friends are going to want to do it. And this is where the mother in me says, well, you know, give them the opportunities, let them have those memories, and, you know, because when I'm gone, who's going to keep, who's going to look after the charitable part of what I've tried to do all these years? Because Tisha told me, well, I ain't doing nothing with the books. I'm not going to fall. If you die, that's it. The nonprofit going off because I can't keep up with blah, 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 you know. And I'm like, yeah, I know, Tisha. You already told me that. And for the person that was going to help me with the secretarial end of things and that type of thing, right? You know, maybe a little bit of accounting or whatever in terms of the ledgers and stuff. That was Rhea, but she's a smash and grab thief. So it's probably better that she's kicked to the curb, got caught, because could you imagine if there was, you know, this, if we were dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars with the foundation, and we had a smash and grab thief in there stealing from the accounts? Like, come on. You know how people do it, right? They're just... Anyway, I'm left holding the bag by myself, and I just don't have... I don't have the stamina anymore, you know? If Shimei was around, it would be different. She would help, because she was nerdy that way, right? She was nerdy. My son won't do it because he's busy, and, you know, he doesn't care. I mean, if I was to do a little gig outside of the businesses here, in this video, I'm sure my son would load everything up for me and drop it off, and when time to come home, he'd come and pick it up and bring it back. But he wouldn't hang around. No, he wouldn't do that. But it's possible. You see, that's the thing. I could wander off with Amari in the stroller and Andre. We can walk, and we can go make inquiries. We can see if we can set up, you know, maybe the first week of September or sometime in September, just on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon for a few hours out with the DJ equipment. But I can't get to my DJ equipment. So who am I kidding? There's not enough room to do this kind of stuff in this house. Some things are buried and put away, and it's too hard to get to them. Like, I'd have to pull out my food prep underneath my bed and then literally crawl underneath my bed to grab the bins out that are basically used for this kind of stuff when it comes to flags and tablecloths and my little, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'd have to get into my closet and dig out my other turntable, and it's just, I don't know. But it's possible. It is possible. To what end, though? For what purpose? Outside of the experience for the kids. Because I'd do it more for the kids than I suppose the community. But it's the kids. My first reason would be to give the kids the opportunity to be able to do it. Hold on a minute. Okay, so it's just my son is starting to move around. I'm getting ready to go to work. I want to cry because Shimei's in here, Tisha and Sierra, and oh my God. We could invite Papa Riley. Yeah, he can stop in for a couple of hours and DJ like the good old days. Maybe bring in Yogi Bear, and maybe Yogi Bear will show up with him, right? Do a little bit of mic or whatever. Just keep with the good fight, right? You know, community wellness for all, not just for a few, right? And give the kids basically, well, you know, Andre and his little crew, whatever that crew will be, to, you know, test the waters, you know, and like, basically what I would do to keep it simple on myself, all I really have to do, honestly, all I really have to do to keep it real simple, it doesn't even have to be fancy-dancy, I just have to get into my closet. My turntable should be in my case. It better be. So as long as I got the 2 turntables, I'd go to Long and McQuaid. I'd rent the amps in the speaker because they come in like right, and I have my old mixer. I'd use my old mixer and my old turntables, Technique turntables. I have a wireless mic out and about where I don't have to go digging for it. I have flags somewhere in the bedroom, but you know, after I cleared out all the fabric and I bought a bunch of my clothes from the bedroom and from my and whatever, and I haven't had either or. It wouldn't matter. The canopies are easy enough to get to at this point. I have 1 table. That's really all I need at this point. And as long as I get permission to set up a couple 2, 3, 4, 5 hours in front of these businesses, if they're still, you know, being operated by the same people, just as a going down memory lane and, you know, a little community celebration with the kids or something before they go back to school or whatever it is that we decide to do. You think I can do that? And then have Andre upload those videos onto my channel. Apparently he started his own YouTube channel because he wants to stream, so that's fine. He can upload those videos on there with his little friends, and he can learn how to deal with copyright from YouTube. I ain't dealing, you deal with it, Andre. You get all right. If YouTube wants to take down a video because of copyright or mute it or whatever, just go with the flow. Like just you know, let it be like water off a duck's back. Because honestly, when I do these little events like this, the majority of the videos stay up. Right? So take it for what it is. The point is this is something I can do on a charitable sense. And then from there, just, I don't know, people. Like, there's so many problems in the world and not enough solutions with not enough money to solve the problems. Right? And I'm just not that kind of person to ignore the problems and keep on walking. And then, you know, it's like that ad friendly, right? You know, sure, you would have no problem in terms of a corporation, in this case YouTube, where you'd slap on ads with me walking past the homeless people, talking about something that's non-threatening and quite possibly frivolous with no substance, as I'm panning over homeless people laying on the cement in their blankets or sitting by their little tents, but I'm not interacting with them. I'm not giving them an opportunity to talk about their stories. I'm not fighting the good fight for them in terms of where is their housing, but I'm just simply walking on by as I'm panning over them, talking about frivolous things as if what I'm panning over is unimportant, to desensitize people even further to the crises that's being developed through those, you know, techniques of manufactured poverty that's written into our legislations from state to state, from province to province, from country to country. Right? In 2001, the BC Liberal government was elected into the Parliament buildings as the government, to which they came in under the premise of balancing the budget, to which disrupted tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives, and practically destroyed lives through that legislation to balance the budget, because of course cutbacks came in that were directed to the most vulnerable of all vulnerable, while the corporations were getting tax breaks, to which, fast forward, and that was in 2001 in British Columbia, Canada, right? The balance the budget, you know, the Republican balanced the budget, because when they came in and they started talking like that in my videos, as I was pointing it out as time went by over going through memory lane, That's kind of like how the Republicans operate. They favor the wealthy and the big corporations over the most vulnerable. And before they'll do the cutbacks, they'll cut back. Before they do the cutbacks on the corporations and the tax breaks and all this other, they'll cut back on the social safety nets of the poorest of the poor, as they try and say, well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And if you can't, that's your fault. Well, no, that's not true. Maybe for some people, yeah, but even then, there's always a story in there. And if the only way you can be ad friendly, so that you can make money, is to pan over all those homeless people and basically ignore them, as you're talking about something that's completely frivolous, just so that you can have ads on your video without limits, because somehow that becomes friendly, even though it's counterintuitive to a healthy society when you ignore what's right in front of you, because it might cost you something by speaking out against it. And in this situation, it would be ad revenue, because if you, sat your butt down next to a homeless person, to which I would do that, and then just started having a conversation in the raw, on the fly, to which some advertisers maybe wouldn't like, because, you have to think. You have to why would a corporation want you thinking about helping a homeless person, or an organization that helps homeless people, when they want your dollars themselves, in terms of a company advertising their product? Before they'd want you giving that dollar to an organization that can help the homeless person that you actually featured on your video, along with other people in their situation, right? A company would not want that. They would rather you buy their product. So, because what would make being homeless unsuitable for ads, outside of the reality of what it means for people who are homeless or facing homelessness, in terms of giving them a voice? Because as soon as you give them a voice, it becomes ad unfriendly. And why? Because it takes away from the ad, where instead of giving that dollar to the product of the advertiser, or to the service of the advertiser, you might be more compelled to go out into your community and look for an organization and give that dollar to that organization to help end homelessness in your community. Where the companies, they want you just to ignore it and give the dollar to them, which ultimately desensitizes you to the whole situation, until such time it may happen to you. And then all of a sudden you're on YouTube through some TikTok compilation of people asking for money for rent, for example, to house themselves, because there are no safety nets. Because as soon as you sit down with a homeless person and you start having a serious talk with them, you're going to find out how they didn't qualify for this or they didn't qualify for that, and then you're going to be questioning yourself as a as a person living in a so-called civil society, as to why they didn't qualify for anything, simply because, right? Okay, so that's just because that's how I think, man. So, with me talking about what I'm talking about right now, does this video become threatening to ads? Because I'm looking at different angles to this greater problem that we have, whatever the problem is, when it comes to degradation in our communities, and how that degradation is redirected to other areas where, in many instances, people become locked into the poverty and never rise above it. Or you have a high number of people dying because of the street drugs that are designed to kill people versus keeping them as customers to solve the problem that corrupt politics create, because that's what it is, right? So now that I'm talking about it, we're getting more serious. We're honing in on the key points, and if we wanted to, we could take a wipeout board and really start writing it down so people can really start trying to figure this crap out so that we can rise above it for those that want to self-empower ourselves and not be held hostage to that manufactured poverty, knowing that we may never be set free. Okay? 32 cents can get me into a lot of trouble, people. Okay? So maybe I should put this this video as limited. Limited in terms of ad revenue, because most companies, I would think, because they give me a choice. They want me to choose for myself first before they take it over and choose for me how to designate these videos when it comes to monetizing them. So I have to walk lightly and really think about what I'm doing. So in light of where we're going with this conversation and where I'm standing on the fence with, well, if you weren't ready to give up the nonprofit last year, what makes you think you want to give it up this year? Because technically I don't, because I know Riley wanted to do a park event, but that didn't happen. I don't have a lot of resources financially, but I could swing a little gig outside of these businesses if these people are still business owners to these businesses, as a walk down memory lane event to keep the good fight going, you know, to let the young kids know that, hey, right, it feels good to get out there and stand up for your community. You see, Andre needs to get out there and feel good that he's a leader in the community that can encourage people to do the right thing. Right? You know, not saying that people will, because many don't. But the more we can encourage our young people to do the right thing for the right reasons, the more well-rounded they grow up to be. Okay? Whether they continue being charitable or not as adults, or whether they don't. The point is, you know, you get them to be at least productive within their lives. In other words, Marcaine grew up, not fully, but for a large part of his upbringing, he grew up with me doing park events and that kind of stuff, right? In the end, he kind of ended up resenting it because what he saw was a lot of people take advantage of me and expected me to do everything while they gave nothing back. And that's what made him angry. But at the end of the day, he actually supports the children's hospital with donations. So there you go. Through my charitable acts, with him growing up, doing park events, promoting the good, whatever, he, to this day, makes donations to the children's hospital. So inadvertently, I influenced him to be a part of the solution versus part of the problem. Well, it's the same thing with Andre. Start him young, get him involved, right? And who knows? And especially with this channel, you know, when I did that video talking about the trademark, I'm going to end it, okay? When I did that video talking about the trademark and what I needed, you know, what was I trying to I have to decide what I was going to do with it and blah, blah, blah. And I was talking to the trademark agent, and he recommended separating things a little bit, you know, just whatever. And that's kind of what I'm doing here with this video. I'm not forgetting about the foundation, but it's very hard to promote the foundation on the level that I created it to be, because most people think it's not possible. It's too futuristic. It's unattainable, or they just don't want you to succeed. I mean, there's so many things against you when you're presenting what I've presented over the years. But that's not to say that I have to toss everything away. So, and when I hear stories about what I'm hearing with these families, or individuals who can't find ways to sustain themselves outside of maybe doing TikTok videos asking for help, I don't know.
Did my intake during the day, and then you know, they told me that, you know, you got to sign in before midnight and you got to stay overnight. Like, that's, you know, you got to build that rapport. But it's like, dang, like, I was scared to ask, but I'm gonna ask some of those guys in there, like, yo, how long you been doing this, bro? Because, yo, it is so hot in there. Like, it was so hot in there. Like, that's literally, I think, the main reason I couldn't, like, nod off. It was so hot in there, like, and that was, you know, like, my main thing. Like, I understand, like, they want you to...
So we got these big-ass buildings. They're putting people in buildings, I suppose. I don't know, or maybe this is a shelter, and it's hot in there. Mm-hmm.
Be in there, but, like, I don't think they really understand how hot it is in there. Like, it is super hot, but, you know, at least, like, there's a chair. Like, nobody was, you feel me, laying on floors or nothing like that. But it's like the chairs are really, like, right on top of each other. Like, when I went in, there was so many people there already, like, it was hard for...
Yeah, it sounds like he's talking about a homeless shelter where people have to sit. They don't get beds, but they get to sit. And they're baking in there. Like, how does that make sense?
For me to even get in the chair that I did, like, luckily somebody got up to use the bathroom, so I was able to, like, get in one of the aisles and snag up a chair. But, like, all those chairs is, like, on top of each other. It's really uncomfortable in there. But not nothing like, not nothing like crazy though. Like, you know, it was half. I'm not even gonna say it was half decent. You know what I'm saying? But it could have been worse. You know, that's all I'm gonna say is it could have been worse. But I'm up now. They turned the lights on at like 6 o'clock. Like, so everybody had to like get up, grab their belongings. You feel me?
Yeah. So he's homeless. He ends up in a shelter. They're stacking and packing them in like sardines, making them sit on chairs, waking them up at 6, pushing them out so they can clean, do whatever they do. They got their routines, right? I mean, like, that doesn't build in safety nets, people. What that does is it creates mental health issues, which leads into physical issues, which leads into harm and injury, which leads into early death. And as soon as you start talking like that, I suppose on YouTube, it becomes ad unfriendly. So since they gave me a choice to choose how I should monetize my videos, I'll make sure that this one is limited, okay? So that they can't penalize me any more than they already have, as they have over the years, okay?
I brushed my teeth and got up out of there. It's 6:30 now, so they don't let nobody, they don't let people start showering until 8:30. But it's mad people in there, like, but I know a bunch of them gonna leave. Like, last night I did spend the night there, and I came at like 9:30 to take my shower, and most of them was gone. I don't even think a lot of them shower in there for real, but that shower is crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna shower in there today, so I'm gonna see if I figure something out so I could like shower somewhere like cleaner. And then look.
Yeah, and that's another systemic problem, where in these shelters, because there's one shower, maybe two, if you're lucky, right? They're not necessarily cleaning in between people using the shower, as well as if you've got addicts in there using the shower to shoot up in because they're addicts, right? You know, that all poses a problem. Or there's people in there with health issues that may have prolapse anuses that bleed out in the shower. I'm just using that as an example because back in the day I have video of me being in a homeless shelter up in my area where there was problems in the shower with blood splattered and needles and whatever, and this is what people were expected to use. Okay, so
for y'all saying I'm faking homelessness, I'm in the same fit that I had on yesterday, bro. I can't fake this.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to fake homelessness, right?
Look, 6:32 in the morning.
And like, he's a young man. He should be signed up into some sort of a trade. Yeah. Whatever he feels inclined to do as a handyman when it comes to a trade. Just based on his age, the way he looks, he's the perfect candidate for it. He's young, he's healthy, he's got, you know, a good vocabulary, and instead his self-esteem is being chipped away at. He's being put into precarious positions that are putting him at risk to further exploitation in a number of ways when it comes to human trafficking and how that all manifests through manipulation of predators within our community. See?
I'm in the same outfit I wore yesterday.
And, yeah.
I did get some breakfast though, thank you to you guys. I got strawberry refresher, you feel me? That shit busts every single time. Thank you guys for that, for real. I ain't eat nothing though, but not for like lack of anything.
So he's depending on donations just to have a little something of substance when it comes to food and drink outside of what he can get in the food lines. Okay.
It's just, I don't know, y'all, like, my appetite has just been on the floor, like, it's been on the floor. I'd be complaining about it if, like, my stomach was, like, growling in pain, but, like, honestly, like, I haven't even, like, it's, I don't...
Well, that's what happens when you don't eat for a while. You get used to it, and then when you do eat, you can only eat so much. That happens to me sometimes. Because I go. Now it's time to eat. Andre say, here, eat. And then I'm like, I don't want, I eat like maybe a third of it or a half. He goes, no, Nana, you haven't eaten anything for 2 days or all day. And I'm like, yeah, but Andre, that's okay. Put it in the fridge. I'll eat it when it's cold. And then at some point, I'll go back to it and I'll eat it all right after my stomach settles down. So what he's saying is not unusual, okay? Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm starving or nothing like that. Like, you know, don't get it. I'm not trying to, you know, say like, yo, I'm starving and I can't eat. Like, it's like weird. It's like I'm not eating, but at the same time, like, my body's not like telling me like I need to be eating either. But it sucks a little because, you know you're supposed to eat at least a meal a day. So
yeah,
like,
I can relate to this.
You know, yesterday I only ate one of those McDonald's burgers and I gave the other one to the other dude, you know. Even if I wanted to eat it, I really couldn't. Like.
Now, keep in mind, I'm an elderly person. I'm 63, so I don't require as many calories as this young person would. I'd put him at, what, maybe 20, anywhere between age 22 to maybe 26, 27. Like I said, he's the perfect candidate for trades, right? The government's out in that way. They should be setting him up with some trades, you know, getting him into a trade school of some kind. Versus just leaving him to wallow in squalor. Yeah. Scrambling without a support system outside of the little bit that he's getting through charities that on the dollar per donation, very little goes back to the actual recipient of that donation compared to the employees, right? Which is another systemic problem.
My appetite, it just wasn't there. And then I ate, you know, a bunch of the french fries. I could have finished those, but I tried to offer it to him and he didn't want them. So, but yeah, day 2, it's 6:30. So, I just want to do this update.
At least I have the privilege of putting my leftover food in the fridge and eating it when I want to eat it. Right? It could be 5 hours later. It could be 10 hours later. I'll eat it when I want it. And trust me, when I eat it all. It's just after going long periods without eating, and if you do that, over a period of several days, when the food does come, you're not necessarily willing to eat it all because your stomach, I guess, shrunk. So it doesn't really want it all, right? And you don't want to make yourself feel sick by overeating. So yeah, but it's not like he can put his French fries in the fridge, right? He's going to throw them out. And then he's right back to where he started in terms of no food. I'm just using that as an example, right?
Channel,
Or he goes and he stands in the soup kitchen line and he gets the food, but because his stomach shrunk, I'm not going to be so hungry to eat it all, right? And then what? It can only, depending on what it is, it can only stay out of the fridge for so long. So yeah, it's a problem.
Check in with y'all, let y'all know, what I'm saying. I'm going to take my refresher and figure out a shower situation right now, and then basically just post up somewhere and just apply to jobs.
Going to work in America feels a lot like the Squid Games. Not because workers are literally in life or death situations, but because the game is the same. The system literally pits struggling people against each other for survival in a rigged, dehumanizing game. And I just wanted to make this video real quick just to build on a couple more correlations between the experience of going to work in America and the Squid Games. And the Squid
See, I'm noticing there are no ads on this one here. Or at least I don't think there are. So, probably because it's too real, right? So how far are we into the video? You can see we got a long way to go. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go. I'm tired. Hold on. Okay, so we're going to finish this video now. But before I end it completely, I uploaded the video that I just did. 32 cents estimate 32 cents estimate earnings. Working on commission and what it means. Okay? Now, I get to self-clarify my video as to whether it's ad-friendly or not. Now, I take that with a grain of salt because what I think is ad-friendly, YouTube staff, AI, whatever, may not think so. Monetization. Choose how you want to earn money from your video. They're giving me a choice. Monetization. I have to select. We choose ads. I told you they seem to be very repetitive. They seem to be very broad sweeped across other videos in terms of you're watching the same, not all of them, but oftentimes, right? Enough times for you to notice it, that you're coming across the same ads over and over and over again on multiple videos. Okay. And of course, my little analytical mind wants to know why, and I already explained it in this video as to why I think YouTube does that, because I'm pretty sure they have more advertisers advertising on YouTube than what's being shown, at least to me, when I look at different videos at different times of the day. And therefore, what is the motive? Okay, so anyway, I get to choose. I would suspect I'll probably end up at some point losing this feature because I will end up making the wrong decision. Oh, well, I want it on. No, I want it on. Okay, so done. All right, it's on. But I thought I got to choose the whether it was limited or not. So Show mid-roll ads during my video. Okay. Manage ad slots. Type of ads. Non-skippable ads. What is this? Oh my lord. The following ad formats are options for your video. Oh. Location of ads. Can I click that? No. Pre-roll ads, mid-roll ads, post-roll ads, non-skippable ads, skippable ads, display ads, manage ad slots. What does this mean? I don't know, people. I can't do this. I can't do this. I just can't. I don't have the stamina for it. It's like 7:45 in the morning and I'm already burning out. Okay, and I haven't even started my day yet. Maybe Andre can help me to fix. Now you can see which ad slots are unlikely to show ads. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't think I have to choose this, do I? How do I exit out of this? I can't even see. Back. Just go back. I'm not stressing myself out over this, people. Okay. I'm gonna go to next. We've updated our guidelines to clarify our policies on adult content, violence, shocking content, hateful content, sensitive events, drugs, and dishonest behavior. We're making changes to help you earn more revenue faster. Now you can rate my own upload against our ad-friendly content guidelines. The more accurate your ratings are, the more we can rely on your input when deciding which ads run on your videos. Yeah, that's what I said. They sent me an email saying I can do this. This process helps reduce errors from our automated reviews, so your videos get more monetized accurately from the start, and you can spend less time requesting additional reviews. See, I don't even have time for debate or appeals, or I just don't. Does your video content, title, description, or keywords contain any of the following? Oh my lord. Why is it important to rate your video accurately? Inappropriate language, profanity in title, thumbnail, usage in the content. Well, I swear. It's like I tell Andre, it's hard to train an old dog new tricks. I've had a hard life. People who swear are actually very intelligent. It's a proven fact. But a lot of people don't like it, and they use it against you as if it somehow demotes you with your character. Okay, so abbreviation or obscured profanity. Abbreviated. The boo-boo. Smutter. Boo-boo. Oh yeah. Is that what they mean by abbreviated? Or just like, FK or something, right? I don't know what the abbreviation is for that word, but you know what I'm getting at, right? Or obscured profanity or words like hell or damn in the title. Oh my god. Well, this one I'm going to put down as unfriendly, limited, right? Because of talking about the homeless issue. I mean, I think just the word homelessness ends up becoming a key word, unless, of course, you ignore it. If you ignore it, then you have a better chance of being ad-friendly. Whereas if you address it head-on, then yeah, it becomes a problem for companies to promote their products, because before they'd, you know, want you to make a donation to a homeless person, they'd want you to buy their product. That's the only way I can see it. Or they see their product next to a homeless person in a video on the ground having an interview with someone like me as a stain, you know, like a stain on their product, to which people would frown on, and yeah, through that unconscious level, right? So it's like, this is you're getting into very psychological stuff here, I would think. Hell damn. In the title, thumbnail, or video, moderate profanity like bitch, douchebag. I never say douchebag. Asshole. I'm surprised that they even have this on here. Used frequently in the video. Most profanity used within music or stand-up comedy video content. Oh my God. Inappropriate language. Oh my Lord. I got it. Strong profanity. Oh, what did I do? Hold on. Oh no, can't I change it? There we go. See more. Abbreviated, obscure, profanity. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. How you rated your overall. Safe for ads. Submit rating. Oh my God. I don't think so. Oh, this one. Yeah, no, this one should be okay. See less. I don't know. Strong profanity. Well, I have videos like that. Used in the first 7 seconds. Well, I don't know about the first 7 seconds. Or moderate profanity in the title or in the thumbnail. I don't know. Strong profanity, like, okay, used in thumbnails or titles. Any use of extreme profanity, which includes hateful language, slurs in the video. Okay. Okay. So I guess they give you like 3 different levels here, to which it's being rated. This particular video, where am I? Is safe for ads, in my opinion. In my opinion. But I could be talking about a subject that they don't like. I don't think it's all related to profanity. I don't. Because right here, they're basically using profanity as the reason to make it unfriendly for ads. Adult content, shocking content. Oh, you have to go down through the whole list. Okay. And then what's this? Adult content, sexual behavior, language. Okay, none. Violence, none. Shocking content, as far as I know, it's none. Harmful acts and unreliable claims, none. Recreational drug content, none. Enabling dishonest behavior, none. Hateful and derogatory content, none. Firearm related, none. Boy, oh boy. Sensitive events, none. Controversial issues, none. Well, I don't know. Is the subject matter about, is YouTube based on commission? And will that commission affect my welfare check? Because that's basically what I'm talking about, to which keeps me locked into manufactured poverty so that people can verbally abuse me and call me this and call me that and accuse me of this and accuse me of that and justify how they mistreat me because I don't technically work, regardless of what my circumstances are. So I'd like to say, well, let's see what they offer. This is where you have to roll the dice. And if I lose the privilege to self-determine what I think my videos are when it comes to whether they're ad-friendly or not, so be it. Content related to preventing controversial issues. Content, because that would be my biggest handicap, I think, on YouTube, because I come with controversial issues. And when I get passionate about them and I start really talking about them and I really want to hammer home, right, the severity of what I'm talking about and how it affects millions of people and not just one in a neighborhood, you know, and that this is a systemic problem that is putting, I don't want to say humanity, but yeah, humanity at risk too. A lot of mishaps along the way, assuming that the planet survives. No, that gets me into trouble. Okay, content related, preventing controversial issues. Content where the controversial issues are mentioned fleetingly in a video. No, I will go on and on and on about it. And are non-graphic and non-descriptive. Non-graphic, non-descriptive content. I don't understand what they're saying here. Non-graphic, non-descriptive content related to domestic abuse, self-harm, adult sexual abuse, abortion, and sexual harassment. Well, I'm not talking about any of those things. What else is there? Some examples of content that fall into this category: non-graphic, non-descriptive, main topic news coverage of controversial issues. Well, I'm not trying to rehash the news, unless, of course, it's just something I want to bring as a, just as an example to maybe something else that I'm talking about, right? Non-graphic, non-descriptive, main topic news coverage of controversial issues. Non-graphic abortion content, including personal accounts, opinions, pieces, or medical procedure content. So that would be considered ad unfriendly. Journalistic side topic report, but then of course everything is always ambiguous on YouTube, so it's a hit and miss depending on how big your channel is and if they favor you, which is the downside of YouTube, in my opinion. Fleeting reference are not the focus of content, not local. You see, the fleeting, they keep using the word fleeting, right? Okay, what is this? Triggering or limiting. Okay, so anytime anybody talks out against bullying, what happens? Comments go disappearing, right? Or they're hidden. They either completely deleted or they're hidden, right? Weight and body-based shaming or bullying. Even if you just talk about it and talk about the way bullying is carried about within a group of people and how it, right? I mean, that in itself became ad unfriendly in one of my videos, right? Unless, of course, they used swearing in there, but I don't. Okay, reference to binging, hiding, or hoarding food. Exercising to reach a calorie deficit. Oh my God, vomiting and abusing laxatives. Ew. What the heck is this? Reference to controversial issues that are non-graphic. Text or image of a razor. content about controversial issues that are not visual disturbing, yet may contain descriptive language, dramatized, artistic, educational, documentary, or scientific representation of controversial issues. Yeah, you can't be, look at this. And then they even give you more. Well, I don't think I have that problem in this video. Okay? Right? How to rate your video overall. Say for ads. I'm just going to submit the rating on it. Like I said, if I lose my privilege to choose whatever it is that I think is reasonable, so be it. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I could ever live up to YouTube's expectations. Okay? I just don't think so. Because it's just, it is who I am. And if I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to talk about something. Video elements. Okay, I'm not doing any of this. Okay. I can't worry, people. No issues found. No issues found. Ad suitability. No issues found. So they didn't find any issues. Okay. So they are kind of pre-screening, I would think. If that's how I'm interpreting that, at this point, they didn't find this particular video to be unfriendly to ads. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Remember, these checks result aren't final. We know that. Okay, so now we're going to go next. It's unlisted. Anyone with. We're going to make it public. And we're going to publish it. I don't know. See? 32 cents. Okay. So now we'll just come in fresh. I'm working on the second video for the day. Alright, talking about the charitable aspect of my life and what I should do with it. And if it's going to mean anything in the great grand scheme of things after it's all said and done, because I can't predict the future. Alright. So, I'm the one that chose that, though. Right? In terms of... Okay. So, anyway. That's the end of this video. So, we'll go back to what we were watching for a moment. And we'll finish. Okay. This video.
Squid Games, players are drowning in debt, and they have no way out except risking their lives for money in a deadly game. In America, millions of people are living check to check, barely surviving. And most people are not working to thrive. Most people are working just to survive, just to pay the bills, just to put food on the table. And then so you have all these employees competing in the workplace for survival. In both of these situations, people don't play because they want to. People play the game because they have to. It's either you play the game or you die. Then there's this illusion of fairness. In Squid Games, the games are presented as if they are fair, as if there is an equal opportunity. But the whole time, the structure of the game is designed to eliminate people. The game is literally made in a way that makes it really easy for you to lose. And in America...
Yeah, manufactured poverty. And then that's what I talk about. And that's what puts me in a category of being, I guess, controversial. Because, you know, it's not so much what I say sometimes as how I say it, I think, that disturbs people, because I'm passionate, right? You know, I let my emotions flow with it. You know, I bring up solid key points that you can't dispute, because many of them are based on actual experiences. Even then, if they want to silence you, they'll just delete the video, even though what you're talking about is something that you went through personally yourself, or you believe and practice personally yourself, which I think is wrong. So what he's saying is correct. The playing field is not fair. We're led to believe that it's fair, but it's not.
It says that same bullshit. The American dream is this idea that here, if you work hard, that it will most definitely lead to success. But the truth is, the game is rigged. And systemic inequality, such as racism or classism.
I wanted to bring that in. Don't forget about racism, and it's not just against black people, it's against poor people, because with poor people comes, well, you might be white trash, but your kids are black trash because they're mixed. Right? Either or, you're trash. You're trash because you're white, because you're poor, only because you're poor. If it was a white person or maybe somebody else, like a brown person, calling you white trash, because brown people will call white people white trash. If we don't have a lot of money, been there, done that, know that from experience, right? Where white people will call white people white trash because, right? There's always a pecking order, every group you come into contact with, and then it just goes down the food chain, right? So, it's not isolated to one ethnic group, as each person has their story, right?
It keeps marginalized groups at the bottom. And if the wealthy are holding all the money, if the wealthy are holding all the keys, if the wealthy have all the control, that means this game is rigged. There is no fairness. There is no equal opportunity. It is only the illusion of fairness, so that when you don't win, the system can point the finger at you and say, you lost because you didn't try hard enough.
Yeah, and that's been my life, with people, criticizing me, calling me down, da-da-da-da-da, thinking they can do what they want when they want, right? Whether it's the smash or grabs or whatever, right? And just, that goes back to that crab barrel mentality that's been around forever. People just stopped using that terminology. Oh, we're all in one big crab barrel, trying to crawl to the top. Yeah.
Not because the game was rigged. And another thing, in the Squid Games and
instead of calling it the crab barrel, they're calling it the Squid Games now, which I've never heard of before, but it makes sense.
Place, both of these situations, they turn people against each other. In the Squid Games, players form alliances, but eventually they are forced to betray one another. In America, you got workers fighting each other over scraps. You got people fighting over these positions, fighting over opportunities. We have this real backstabbing culture, this willingness to get ahead by any means necessary culture, because we all just want to survive. We all just want to eat, you know what I'm saying? But because the game is rigged and we're all working for survival, everybody's out for themselves. And this idea spills over into the workplace and those environments, and it forces people to go against one another rather than cooperate with one another. It makes your coworkers become the enemy. And in America, corporations fuel these divisions, so the working class never actually unite against the real oppressors. You have to realize, too, that this is also a spectacle for the elites. In the Squid Games, the ultra-rich bet on the lives of the poor for entertainment. In America, billionaires watch as the masses fight over low-wage jobs. The billionaires watch as the masses live paycheck to paycheck. These billionaires watch as most people are just struggling to survive while they have more.
Yeah, well, they use charity as tax write-offs and to promote backroom deals, with some of those deals being nefarious. Wuhan. Right? Oh, I don't know.
That they can ever dream of, while these billionaires have more than they even know what to do with. And they look down on us from their tower and they laugh.
This guy goes on and on. He's got a lot of good things to say. Okay, so how about we move forward?
One other job fired me because I got a text about my dog being attacked and I answered it.
Okay, let's listen to this woman.
Okay.
I've been out of work since November. I had a job. It didn't work out. I thought it was going to be a great job. It it wasn't, they let everybody go. One other job fired me because I got a text about my dog being attacked and I answered it. Yeah, fucked up shit like that. Welcome to my life. I'm behind in rent. I don't have a car. I've applied for 200 jobs since friggin' Saturday. And all I get is, you weren't selected. Your application wasn't selected. I don't know what else to do. I have to pay my rent. I have to have a place to live. I'm diabetic. My sugar is in the upper 300s. I don't have insurance. I keep getting turned down for Medicaid. I barely...
The balancing of the budget. Let's go here and see what happens. I'll leave the link.
That are homeless out on the streets that don't have anywhere to go. I just checked the government website. The cooling stations, for whatever reason, are not open, even though we are in an extreme heat watch right now.
Okay,
so I've been out while I've been
what's going on here?
You can see I got the fan going. It's just, this heat is unbearable. But I'm going to be okay. I'm working. I do have AC. I have my fans. But please, guys, keep in mind the people that are homeless out on the streets that don't have anywhere to go. I just checked the government website. The cooling stations, for whatever reason, are not open, even though...
Right. So what can I do? Well, if I had it my way, I'd do a 1 million flash drive, state to state to state, invest that 50 million, because that's the goal. We want 1 million people donating $50, which brings it up to $50 million per state to help with these issues. But that's too big. That's too powerful. Yeah. This is supposed to have a MIDI, but there's no MIDI on it. Somebody took the MIDI off of it. Why would they do that? What would happen if I refresh the page? Oh, I know why there's no MIDI on it. Because it downloads. Download insecure. No, it's just a MIDI. So how can we play it? I think I can just click on that. Oh my God, what? I have to go into my downloads. It used to just come up and play. Alright. Oh, here it is. Broke that. Okay, no, that's not it. That's a video. It doesn't want to play. Oh, here it is. So, am I gonna get a copyright now? Yeah. That's my solution. A 1 million flash. What did I call it? National Telethon Trust. Right. Where's all those politicians I sent my nonprofit to? I'd like to know. When are they gonna come step up to the plate? Should I update this? What do you think? 1782. $18.41. $18.41. $18.45. Where's my finger? Here it is. And yeah, you can hold it if you want. That's my solution right there. 1 million people, $50 per state. You're gonna help a whole lot of people. But who's helping me to accomplish that goal? That's the problem. That's the ceiling I haven't been able to crack yet. No. And while we're at it, you know, there's a whole lot of other things that we can be doing. God forbid if this video gets muted because of this MIDI, the MIDI of all things. It's called Satisfaction. I don't know if Satisfaction is copyrighted on YouTube. I don't know these things until I upload them. Oh my Lord.